Hello everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, we are going to be discussing about the k-means clustering and how its code will work in the Python. So let us start first with defining clustering. So what is clustering? Clustering is basically the grouping of data points that share similar characteristics. That means we are dividing the entire data set into a homogeneous subgroups. Suppose say we have a data set and we divide it into some clusters, that is C1, C2 and C3, and we assign the different data points into those clusters depending if they share the same characteristics. Here in k-means clustering, we actually divide or partition our data set into number of clusters, and these number of clusters are k clusters. That means we have specified the number of clusters we want our data set to be partitioned into. The metric here used is a centroid. Suppose we have a data set and we want it to be divided into 3 clusters. So the value of k would be 3. Now we are going to assign the data points using the distance formula. That means we are going to calculate the values of the data points from these center points or centroids, and suppose we found out that the data point A's value is closer to the cluster 1, so we are going to assign the cluster 1 to the data point A. So that is how the clusters will be assigned to the whole data set. Now what will happen is we are going to iterate this. That means we are going to update the centroids. What does that mean? It means that we are going to iterate this process until the centroids stabilize. So we have assigned the data points into the clusters, and now we have 3 groups. As we are going to the example, we have 3 groups: C1, C2 and C3. So C1 has some data points, C2 has some data points and C3 has some data points. That means all the clusters have some data points associated with it. So now in the particular clusters, we are again applying the mean and find or update these centroids and assign the clusters according to it. And we will iterate this process until the centroids or the cluster assignment remains same. That means our centroid has stabilized. Now we will look to the Python code. First, we are going to import the necessary libraries and dataset. Here in the first step, I have loaded the dataset, that is California Housing Train.csv. I have used the Google Colab sample dataset only here. So to apply the k-means, as it has the numerical values. Now moving to the next step, the important modules here we have is sklearn's cluster and preprocessing. From cluster we are going to import the k-means, and from preprocessing we are going to import the standard scaler. Standard scaler because we need to standardize our numeric values to have the optimized version of our model. So now we are going to select the features we want to use for the clustering. Here I have selected the housing median age, total rooms and median income. And we are going to have these features assigned into a variable, that is x. Now we need to standardize the features. That's why we are going to use the standard scaler here. We are calling the standard scaler into object which will have the properties of the standard scaler, and using this object we are going to perform the transform function. That means we are using the fit transform here and applying it to the x that has all our data features upon which we want to apply the clusterings. So now here we are going to apply the k-means clustering. Here we have assigned the clusters, that is 5. That means we want 5 clusters, and the random state, that means a random seed for the start of the procedure for k-means, we have given it as 42. Now we are going to fit this model onto the scale data, not the previous data but scale data, because we have standardized our values here. So now if we want to see how our model has worked, we are going to plot a scatter plot here using this code. So if we see the output here we are going to have this kind of output here. As we can see here, we have 5 clusters as we had assigned. So Here all the data points have been assigned some kind of clusters. So this is how clustering works in Python code. That's all for today's video. Thank you.